Hello friends, today we will talk about short stories. My today's video will help the students, the ones who are doing MA English Part 2, as short story is an optional subject of MA English Part 2. So dear students, short story is simply explaining itself being a shorter than a novel story. Short story is a genre of literature and a type of fictional prose narrative. Short story has very few characters than novel. It keeps revolving around a single story. So let's review the elements of short story. Short story has 5 elements. First, character, then plot, third, setting, fourth, themes, and fifth, point of view. Without any single elements I told above, a short story is incomplete without them. So let's review one by one the 5 elements. First comes characters. Characters are the people or animal or any object who are involved in the story. They can be major characters who will be the part of the short story from the beginning till the end. Let's have a look on Tom and Jerry cartoons as an example. Tom and Jerry both are the major characters in these cartoons. The second type of characters is minor characters. Minor characters are those characters who plays a small role in the story. If we again take an example of Tom and Jerry cartoons, the dog appears very few times in the story. If we talk about the static characters are those characters who remain same throughout this short story. Like, if someone is rigid, that person will remain rigid till the end of the story. If we take an example of movie The Lion King, there is Scar, a lion, who was very rigid and cruel from the beginning of the story till the end of the story. The fourth type of characters are dynamic characters. Dynamic characters are those characters which changes with the time. We will take an example of the Grinch movie. We can see the green man who was very angry in the beginning of this animated movie. He was very cruel and very angry towards the Christmas. But at the end of the story, he becomes very good-hearted person. So that character called dynamic characters. Let's talk about the plot now. Plot is the major element of short story. Actually, plot is an order of events that make up a story. The plot basically begins with an exposition or introduction, which introduces to the characters and background information of the short story. Then comes rising actions, which involves complications that leads towards conflicts between the characters. After conflict between characters, we reach to the climax, which is a turning point in the story. Climax reveals all the in front of characters. And after climax comes falling actions, which shows what happened after conflict and climax. In fact, falling action moves story towards the conclusion or resolution. Now we'll talk about the third element, and that is setting. Setting shows the places where events are happening. It also tells the time period when the story is taking place and what environment is occurring in the story. It expresses the mood of story and help us to guess what might happen next in the story. The fourth element is themes. Themes give us the main idea or central meaning of the story. It helps us to learn the moral lesson of story. Themes give us an opinion about life, humanity, or society. If we take few examples of themes are friendship, love, war, good versus evil, importance of family, crime is bad, or kind of these themes. Let's talk about the point of view. It refers who tells the story. As if narrator is telling story by himself, he will be the first person and will use I as a pronoun because he is the part of story. Whereas if the third person is story narrator, he is not the part of story. So he will be using he, she or it as a pronouns. And if the second person is telling story, we'll use you. So, dear friends, I have shared all the important elements of short stories. I will soon upload the short stories of MA English Part 2 from Punjab University. I hope you liked today's lecture. Keep sharing the video. Take care and goodbye. Thank you.